both found we have a love of craft beer, or decent beer. We were making it independently, like homebrew style. Then decided we should pool our resources and make it together. Well, I was at Jason's place pretty much every other weekend, making beer together.
Everyone act natural.
We met while working in the IT department at Wolf Blass in the Barossa Valley. No.
Most days.
Oh, no, wait. We have a... Everyone goes, oh, you should have a business partnership or an agreement or this. We go, we basically don't know the sunset on a problem.
Yeah, we do get along, but we have had vehement and not violent, but close on violent disagreements over certain things. But the fact of the matter is that we both want the same thing.
It's easier to have a beer and work a problem out than it is to go to bed on it first to come back the next day, and it's probably far worse than it really was. More often than not, it's come down to the fact that we both have said the same thing. We've said it differently without the other one fully comprehending it. So,
Jason mostly with a miscomprehension. He's not that bright.
I don't speak or spell good.
Favourite boss? I don't know if you could say that, but no, I can't do it.
Well, they're the perfect odd couple. They're the complete opposite to each other.
They're all right. Craig and Jace are okay at best.
When did we start brewing together, Jace?
It was about 97. When did you get married?
Fuck. It was before, 2003, because North Melbourne Crows beat Collingwood in the pre-season grand final.
Right. Well, I got made redundant from...
Well, no, was it 2000? Oh, fuck, I don't know.
I got made redundant from Wolf Blass in 2009, so it was before then. So there you go. And we had chatted about brewing. Yeah, started using any implement possible to do things, i.e. cooling beer in a pool, but in the middle of winter because it was cold. Well, Big Shed actually came about because of the ag shed we were brewing in the Barossa Valley. So it was the girls always used to say, where are the boys? Oh, they're in the Big Shed. So it came about because of where they used to coin the reference to where we were. And then, I think 3 years blasted past and the girls went, well, why don't you do this thing properly? So either do it or stop. Don't challenge us to do things because we're silly enough to probably follow through.
Yeah, we can. There's lots of people who can do a lot of things better than us, but no one can out-immature us. The Don Bradman are childish, mate. That's what we do. This is our little brewery. We've been here 4 years now, serving beer South Australia, New South Wales, Victoria, and it's WA and as far as the UK. Come in, let's have a look. Doesn't look like much now, but in a few hours this place will be full. This is the bar. This is where the good stuff comes out. The beer basically travels 25 metres in its whole life to get from grain into your glass. Jason and I built this with our own hands, all very manual.
What sparked moving into the new place? It was more so that we had more interest for beer in a general sense, in a sales sense, outside of the four walls of the brewery than we could actually deal with. We couldn't fit enough people into here. We couldn't make enough beer here. We couldn't bring the processing aids like filtration and all that sort of stuff. All that stuff couldn't come into this building. So we had to make a decision to do something. It was either we stay the size we are, we service the clientele we've got.
Like a hermit crab. Yeah. We outgrew the shell. When we first moved in here, I remember having this place clean and we're like, we'll never fill this space. And we generally believed it. Here we are, 6 years later, and we wouldn't have nearly enough room. I describe it to people is that we're a 4-bedroom family in a 2-bedroom house. Monday, Tuesday, all the shit would get pushed back against the bar and out of the way. We do as much production as we could. Then sort of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that tide line would move back. So we could let enough people in to be able to service it. Because when we started, the front of house wasn't even something we planned. And we slowly built that over time. We're in the middle of nowhere in terms of like foot traffic and this and that. The amount of people who even, right up to the point we moved, had no idea what we did and walked in for the first time and they live around the corner.
We haven't reached everybody. So that was part of the catalyst of needing to upgrade is, can we reach everybody from here? Hell no. Can we reach everybody from the new place? Probably not again still.
And we wanted to switch to grow markets, both interstate and international. We wanted to export beer. We were never going to do that here. When we did it here on occasion, it was basically robbing Peter to pay Paul. We'd stop sales locally to make them internationally, which defeats the purpose of actually doing it. You weren't growing the pie. So we knew if we wanted to get bigger, we had to move.
most exciting thing right at the second is that the brewery is coming in off of the containers that we've been waiting weeks and months for.
It's like Christmas morning for brewers.
Oh, you know, it's an average day. 1 of 9 containers.
The christening.
We're actually achieving something that we wanted to achieve, but at the same time, the harsh reality of it is it doesn't just happen. You've got to work. We started to get bills for the new joint, and we're trying to service them with the old joint. It's an equal measure of ecstatic, giddy excitement and absolutely shitting yourself.
Like literally, we're getting desk chairs delivered. We're literally getting the brewery delivered, all the stools and all the chairs and all the tables and all that ready to go. Washing glasses, getting everything set up, ready to go, making sure there's beer, most importantly.
For the last few months, it's been all about getting the new site up and running from a brewing perspective, making sure the tanks are all of the right quality and we've got the layout right, we've got the right people doing the right things.
The new brewery's something circa 800-900 grand. So we needed to have faith that someone was going to help us deliver that. So we reached out to Brewtique. We'd met Neil previously, so we had that level of comfort that we were dealing with somebody we knew. We got a level of quality above what we're actually paying for, so that the value ratio was just off the charts. Neil was very good in terms of came over, visited with us, he slowed down and went through every single step. I think there was 5 brewers at a table and myself and Craig, and he just weathered that storm of 900 questions to get the job done.
Just having Neil as a brewer
Yeah, correct.
is a big thing because he understands what it is you're trying to do.
Quite a few people that know us said, you guys are fucking nuts, you're not going to get it done. It's not enough time, you're going to end up you need to double your budget, you need to double your delivery time. It's the old adage that as soon as you tell someone they can't do something, you work harder to make it happen. So we're going to smash it. It's going to be busy, there's going to be people lined up at the front, kitchen's going to get slammed, we're going to sling lots of beers, and Royal Park's going to have something to be proud about.
A lot of food, a lot of beer, a lot of fun.
And I think for the most part, we came online pretty much when we expected to, all by about 3 weeks.
One of the projects we're most proud of is here at Big Shed. It's a large brewery capable of producing over 1 million litres of beer a year. And 6 weeks after commissioning, they're already producing fantastic beer.
The first beer we ever made, remember we made that raspberry wheat beer?
Oh yeah, the Fruit of the Forest beer. Yeah, we got a Cooper's Canadian Blonde kit and put
So good.
2 or 3 kilos of mixed berries in it, and it just turned out to be an
More than
absolute
that, it was like fucking
belter.
6 kilos.
Yeah.
My mum loved it, bless her.
So Fuck Yeah was our first ever label. Now that came about, believe it or not, at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday in Semaphore in a coffee shop. So we sat down and went, what's stereotypically American about a pale ale? What's this, what's that? And we just, all these references are firing out of our head. All of a sudden, Team America World Police, I don't know whether it came out of my mouth or your mouth, but the theme song to it, which is America, fuck yeah.
America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah.
All of a sudden, we're like, there's the label's done. Now fill the background in with all this other stuff. So the snake, the cowboy's hat, the rope.
Honesty is what we do. We don't pretend that we make the world's best beer. We make the world's best beer that we can.
We make the best beer in Royal Park.
That's true. That is true.
That's undisputable.
Yeah. We're here for a good time. We're all about the total experience.
The beer is taken seriously. The rest of our business isn't.
Yeah.
It's probably the easiest way to condense it. I mean, don't get me wrong, running a business is very serious. However, we only turn on the serious when we need to. The rest of the time, it is how do we have some fun with doing this? Because it's a lot of bloody hard work.
We understand our place too. We're not solving world diplomatic issues here. We make beer, so that should be fun. It should be enjoyed. It's the best part of a shit day or an exclamation point on a really good day. That's what we do.
Slamming at the bar.
It's all about having fun.
Californicator was probably one of the next fun ones we did. What's something quintessentially California? Oh, the Bears. How do we put that on put them on the surfboard and let them Californicate?
If you get offended by those 2 bears on that surfboard, you're not for us, and that's okay. But if you don't get offended, you're more likely to pick it up because you'll go, I at least want to see what these lunatics are doing. Craft beer gets more and more crowded. It's harder to grab that attention. Sometimes we have to be ridiculous to get the job done.
A little bit hard to put 2 fucking bears on a bottle with the way the
Fucking
stringent.
they're surfing.
It's a safety cuddle, correct? Sorry, I need to correct myself. GST, for instance, I mean, as much as it's got my face on there, that wasn't actually me that ordered that or requested that. I did it. It actually kept coming back to us with a different man's face on it every time. And I remember saying to Craig, what the fuck is going on? Why can't they just pick a face and get on with it?
We're on the way to beer and barbecue.
Yeah, we were too, actually. Yes.
I was driving, and they're like sending you
I'm pulling mad
a
selfies
text
and he's
message
wondering
saying,
why I'm having a problem.
take a photo, do this, do that, and he's doing it all. So by the time we got to Wavell, like maybe a 15-minute drive, they had this label done with old Bugger Lug's head on it. And yeah, it was hilarious.
I'll make the pose. Now I've got the mo and the tattoo. So
No,
I'm
it's all good.
now life imitating art.
In terms of weird things we've brewed with, like Shed Love's a classic. That's the problem with talking to Doc, is he remembers stuff. He gets back to us 3 months later and says, remember, we're going to do this dark beer with carrots and this and that. Oh, fuck, yeah, all right, let's do it. We made beer, Thai green curry.
Yeah.
Coriander,
We put shrimp
rice,
paste in a beer.
Shrimp paste.
Wouldn't recommend it.
Kefir, lime leaf, all of it. Szechuan peppercorn ale, probably the most divisive beer we ever made.
Basila chilies,
Yeah.
cocoa nibs, yams. They're a nasty little thing. We actually had to go on a hazmat suit peeling them because they irritate the skin because they're trying to protect themselves.
It's the best.
If you can eat it, we can brew with it. We've just gone through Wagga, heading on our way to Gundagai and that famous dog on the tucker box. So somebody challenged us to get a fresh keg to Sydney, and they said they weren't going to ask us because apparently it was too far. And we went, don't tell us what we can't do, let us have a crack. So we literally filled a keg of Californicator at midnight, drove it to Sydney.
It's dark out here, people. Hello.
We drove there in 15 hours and 9 minutes. We sort of live casted it on socials as we're driving, so we had people watching what was going on. Got there, walked the keg upstairs, tapped it, had a schooner, drove the car back to the hotel we were staying at, came back, drained the keg, drove back to Wagga the next day because we thought it was a bit far to drive back. Hungover. Craig from Thirsty Crow must have been watching what was going on, messaged us and said, come across the road for a beer. You're staying right across the road from the brewery. Got rubbery there till 1:30 in the morning, drove home the next day. So that was a pretty cool 36-hour window of probably punishing the liver.
Absolutely no commercial sense. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good fun. We probably should have put more than one keg in the car. But again, we're not smart. Getting flown to London was a really cool one. So JD Weatherspoon's put out the feelers for brewers to get flown up to the UK, and they bring brewers in from all around the world to make these different beers. Obviously, they paid us in pounds, so we're like, dude, we can fly business we could add a little bit to this and go business. So anyway, we pretty much dressed like this on the plane in business class.
Giggling like fucking schoolgirls. Couldn't make sense of any of it. And all these old geezers are looking at us sideways. Like, hey, we paid. Shut up. Just bring the champagne. Let's go.
Shared a room for 7 days because, our accommodation didn't stretch like business class did. So we flew like kings, slept like paupers, and drank like commoners. It was
good time,
fucking
mate.
amazing.
Staying in Hook Norton, little village in the Shropshires, 170-year-old, 5-story Victorian era brewery. Staying in a local pub owned by the brewery. Drinking with the locals. It's the best of what beer is about. Sharing beers with friends, either old and new, having a good time, waking up a bit sore the next day, but being glad that you did.
And they made a special mention to the 2 Australians that are in town and have single-handedly drunk the pub under the table.
4% beers, mate, limping in.
Yeah.
We get a different clientele in the brewery now because of the space, and it is different, but at its heart, it is still us. It is still a place that you can feel good in, a place you can relax in, a place you can bring your kid or your dog and feel comfortable. Like, I don't want people to be intimidated by craft beer. We used to work in the wine game, it happens. People talk down to people, like, if that ever happens in our brewery, like, I'll thump whoever did it, because it's a conversation. Beer is a conversation, like, what do you like, what don't you like? That's what we do. We just want to invite our mates around for a beer. Just because we've never met, that's the vibe.
Our beer doesn't need to be approachable, our people need to be. Yeah. As far as the operation of the brewery goes, it's just second and third renditions of everything we do is going to make the show better. So you turn something on, you learn how it works and can tune it and fine-tune it and keep fine-tuning it and finding that extra level of efficiency. Beer's going to get better, front of house is going to get happier.
We're always looking to add little touches here and there that make it feel better. These are all things that we knew we wanted to do, but we had to get certain things done first. So for us, it's always looking 2 or 3 steps ahead, working out what the next move is. No one is better than we are at being who we are. So let's do that, and let's do it as well as we can. word, people.
All right,
What do you guys want to say?
Today,
what we've done on tour is none of your business. It was fucking cold in Ireland, and $20 is $20. Are you still filming?
of course he is.
Good.